What is going on, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. Once again, we are back here in the garage with another vehicle to work on. It's a pretty cool car we got today. A little different than what we normally do. I'll walk you through what we have. It is a 1970 Monte Carlo. Really nice looking car. My neighbor Frank referred this customer to me, met him at a car show, and you can see on his driver's door right there, it's a pretty good shot. It's in there pretty good. There's some other little things on the fender here. I think there's a couple dents and on the other fender, but that's why we got the hood off. We can just get right up underneath and touch those dents. But this one on the driver's door, it's going to be a little difficult. So when I first saw the car, I kind of pushed on the outside of it and it felt, like it moved around. So I didn't think it was under the bracing, and I told him, we'll just go right down through the window and get onto that. But when I tried to go down through the window, I was just, hitting bracings and all kinds of things in there. So I checked it out, and there's a big bracing that runs through the whole door. So there's no way to touch it from the top. And this isn't something that I would feel comfortable glue pulling. It was repainted in the 80s, but still, you don't know the prep work done to like a repaint job. It could pull the paint right off. So I told him that's not an option. I just don't feel comfortable glue pulling something like this. So what we're gonna have to do, we're gonna have to take that door panel off. And once we get that off, you'll be able to see what I'm talking about the bracing. It runs through the whole door, and it's really big. It's not like the newer bracing in cars today where you can kind of sneak in between it. There's no sneaking in between this one. This one does have holes and slots in it, so that's what I'm hoping is once we get that door panel off, I could get in one of those holes or slots with some tools and be able to touch the dent. I don't know if we're going to be able to touch it or not, but that's the only other option. So we'll get going on this, get this door panel off, which it shouldn't be too bad. These older cars, kind of made to be taken apart. So we'll get this door panel off, get working on it, and see how this thing turns out. All right, the first thing we're gonna do is take this window crank handle off. And there's a little trick you can do with this. There's a little clip that just slides around this handle inside. So the trick is to get to that clip. Usually the clip is pointed the same side as the handle. So if you can get a little rag in there, there's a little trick how to do this. So you can see if you get the rag in between here, it catches on this clip right here. And when you pull it, it just pops this clip right off. And then the window handle just comes right out. So that's that, and then we just got some screws we'll take out, and the door panel should come off. So let's get going. This thing's turning out to be a nightmare. I can't get to it up underneath. I mean, I can get my hand up in there and kind of get close to the dent, but I can't get a tool in there with enough leverage to pry off of anything. It's just too tight. It's kind of a weird angle. So I think there's another option. I'll show you what we have. It's good we took the door panel off still. but I think what we could do is get right in through this hole. So if I could get a tool inside here, maybe like a whale tail, and then try to sneak down this way. I don't know if this is gonna work. It's just really braced up. That bracing is just really hard to get around in this. And these cars, the metal is super thick on these. Not only that, they put like a rust-proof coating, so it's all bumpy. I don't know if you saw the other video I did about that old 50-something Mercury. Same kind of thing. The inside of the panel isn't smooth. It's all like a rust proofing on there that's all bumpy texture. It's really hard to pinpoint where you got to go with the tool, but let's try this. Let's try to go down through the window or that little hole there and see if we could get a whale tail or something sneaking in between and touch it that way. So let's keep going. I want to get this thing. Now it's like a mission to make sure we get this done. So let's do it. All right, we've been working with this for a little bit and it's actually coming up pretty nice. Once I got the right tool on it, I'm pretty much using a rubber tip ultra tool, like a double bend. And once I could get that tool in there, it's kind of going around the bracing, and then I'm using the bracing to pry off of, almost like tweaking it with that kind of tool. It's a little awkward, but once I'm getting the hang of like the way it is, the way to hold the tool, it's coming out nice. I'll show you the results so far. It's looking really good. Most of the deepness is out. You can see there's a pretty good scuff in there. It looks like whatever hit it kind of fell and chopped it. It doesn't look like a door dent on this one. This one's more something fell and kind of swiped it. You can kind of see how that scrape is in there. So we're gonna try to polish that out the best we can. It does look like it's in the paint pretty good, but I think we could get a lot of that out. I didn't want to polish it yet. I wanted to get some of the deepness out first and keep working it. And then when we go to fine tune it, we'll polish that up and get in all those low spots. The paint seems pretty good. We've been using the heat gun. You never know. Like I said, this paint was done in the 80s, he said. it looks like a nice paint job, but you never know like what kind of prep work they did or anything like that. And it is concerning. The paint could just pop off the car. You know, say there's some skim coat there and you're pushing on it, that could just release. But it seems like it's a nice paint job, but we're just heating it up just to make sure that paint's pliable and it doesn't crack or anything like that. Because there is a pretty good scuff in there and it was pretty deep, so I didn't want that paint to open up. But it's coming out good. We'll keep going on this, you know, polish it up, fine tune everything, and then we'll move on to the fenders and get this car done. Let's keep going. All right, we are all finished up with this one. It came out really nice. This was one I really wanted to make sure we got and made it look really good. It's not about the money on this one. This was more maybe a pride thing or something. I just wanted to make sure we got this one. You know, with these classic cars, they want them looking good, and I wanted to make sure the customer was going to be happy after we were done and the car's looking good again. So I'll show you the results. You can see, as we showed in the video, we started with a rubber tip, kind of polished out that scratch, then finished it off with a metal tip, fine-tuning everything. And you can see the scratch came out really good. The dent came out really good. There might be a little tiny wave there or something, but I mean, that's understandable for an older car like this, the way the metal is and how deep that dent was. But I think it looks really good. I think he's going to be super happy with the results. Again, it wasn't about the money on this one. I'm probably not making money on this one, but it was more about just getting the car done, getting the job done. We'll get this door panel put back on, move on to the fenders, and finish up this full car. So let's keep going. Let's do it. right, we are all finished up with this one. It came out really good. Just a couple little dents on this left fender, and then that right fender had one little dent. I didn't even film that side. It was just a small little dent, couple pushes, and it was out. And then when I was wrapping up, I noticed on this quarter panel, there was a dent. And these quarter panels are nice to work on, actually. There's a vent inside there that you just take out a Phillips head screw, the vent comes out, and there's plenty of access. So we got on that, got that dent out for him. It's nice being able to have access to quarter panels like that. The newer cars aren't like that. They're all sealed up. Even if you take out the taillight, sometimes there's no access holes. And I know how you all love me popping access holes in vehicles, but this one, we didn't have to do any holes, no glue pulling on this one. As I mentioned, I would never glue pull a car if it was repainted. That's just a high risk thing. You don't know what's going to happen. Even if the customer really wants you to, it's questionable if I would even glue pull something that has been repainted, because that paint can just lift right off. So we didn't have to do any glue pulling on this. Took off the door panel, went down through the little window area there, got on the dent and got it out. So I think he's going to be really happy to get this car back looking good like this. I'm happy with the results. Hopefully you guys liked the video. If you can, like, subscribe to the channel. We'll do more videos, and we'll catch you next time.